Hi, and welcome back to our ACPS Science Office Curriculum Hotspot videos. We'll go over the NGSS performance expectations that are embedded in our biology curriculum. For this video, we'll be covering HSLS14, which focuses on mitosis or cell division. Let's review the standard. For HSLS14, students who demonstrate understanding can use a model to illustrate the role of cellular division or mitosis and differentiation in producing and maintaining complex organisms. There's an assessment boundary for this standard. The assessment does not include specific gene control mechanisms or the rote memorization of the steps of mitosis. So what do students really need to know in regard to the standard? Students need to know the inputs and outputs of mitosis. Daughter cells receive identical genetic information from a parent cell or fertilized egg. Mitotic division produces two genetically identical daughter cells from one parent cell. Furthermore, students should understand that mitotic division results in more cells that allow the growth of organisms, and that can then differentiate to create different cell types and can replace dead cells to maintain a complex organism. What do students not need to know in regard to the standard? Again, let's review the assessment boundary. The assessment does not include specific gene control mechanisms or rote memorization of the steps of mitosis. So in the standard, students no longer have to know the differences among interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. They also no longer have to know the exact process in the biomechanics of how mitosis occurs as they previously used to in pre-NGSS biology curriculum. So how does the standard relate to what students already learned in middle school? Well, let's look at that vertical alignment. In middle school, students were able to develop and use a model to describe why asexual reproduction results in offspring with identical genetic information, and sexual reproduction results in offspring with genetic variation. So in middle school, students already understand a little bit about reproduction and cellular division. So they learned about this at the macroscopic scale in regard to organisms, but now at the high school level, we're going to break it down and look at it microscopically through the process of mitosis. So what resources are available to you to help you support in teaching students the standard? Well, let's go over them. In our curriculum, the first resource is the Cell Division Brainstorm. This activity is meant to serve as a pre-assessment. You will Jamboard as a whole class. Part 1, students will answer what is needed for the growth of cells and organisms. Part 2, students will then make connections to Unit 1 and the use of macromolecules. Students will select one of the 4 macromolecules and justify their selection to answer, how do organisms use macromolecules for growth? You'll want to guide students in post-discussion towards responses that capture the need for energy and how organisms obtain energy and food. You can also utilize cell cycle models. Students should individually construct a representation of the changes that occur in a cell in terms of its size and internal components and of the number of cells produced as a cell goes through a single cycle of cell growth and division. Representations can include student choices of comic strips, thinking maps or flow maps, one-pagers, and other ways of representation. Student responses should include the following components: genetic material, 2 of each chromosome pair, 1 from each parent, parent and daughter cells and their relationship, daughter cells receive identical genetic information from a parent cell or fertilized egg, mitotic cell division produces 2 genetically identical daughter cells from the one parent cell, and gene expression accounts for different cell types with the multicellular organism, not different genetic material. Another resource available to you is the cell differentiation game. As a class, students will role play as individual developing cells in an embryo to understand how cells in human body have the same DNA, yet through epigenetics become specialized and take on a unique epigenetic profile. That's it for this Curriculum Hotspot video. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact our ACPS Science Office, and we look forward to you participating in our other Curriculum Hotspot videos that are embedded throughout our biology curriculum.